God can't bless a lustful man because lust separates you from God. And every time you give into lust, you're choosing the world, you're choosing sin over God. And lust just destroys you. It's candy to the eyes, but it's poison to the soul. And it will take everything from you. And God calls us as men to not give into lust, to not feed our fleshly desires, and to instead live for Him, live for His perfection, His greatness. So how do we defeat lust as a young man? Lust has affected and destroyed so many figures in the Bible. Samson, the strongest man in the Bible, destroyed by lust, and it will destroy your life and my life if we don't stop. So, lust, what is lust? It's the opposite of love. It's the lack of love. You wouldn't look at someone you truly love with lust because you love them. Lust is, you're on your phone, you're scrolling on corn, you're looking at people, you see some girl walking down the street, you are looking with eyes of lust. So you have to firstly understand that lust is a lack of love in the heart. So you need to start looking at the world in a more loving way. You need to love yourself more, because when you reflect love, when you love yourself so deeply, it is much easier to love other people. So you firstly have to understand, why don't you love yourself? Why do you hate yourself? And you ask yourself these questions, write them down, journal them, and then ask yourself, what characteristics do I respect in someone else? What characteristics do I love in someone else? And start adopting those characteristics. And over a period of time, you will begin to have self-respect and self-love. And then you have to desexualize your mind. Your brain is so polluted from watching this stuff, from scrolling on social media, from watching porn, that when you are consuming this content all day, when you go into the real world, you are looking in the world in this these weird lustful lenses, and you aren't seeing people as humans, you're seeing them as objects like you would on social media. So you have to desexualize your mind. What I did was I deleted social media for a whole year, and throughout that year it changed my life. I felt like a childlike joy. As we gotta struggle with lust for so long, then I deleted social media and naturally just disappeared. It's because social media is the stem. It's the stem which is causing your lust and all these bad problems. Delete social media for a month, you will feel so much better. What happened is I felt this childlike joy come back. I felt happier, I could talk better, I felt like more raw human emotions. The lows felt more real, the highs felt more real. It wasn't like this numb feeling you get when you're doom scrolling and all this BS. So delete social media, desexualize your mind. Stop listening to music constantly, and be careful what music you are listening to. If you're waking up first thing in the morning and you're listening to some rap music, you're polluting your mind. You're messing up your mind for the rest of the day. So be careful, have a strong morning routine, desexualize your mind, and it will help a lot. So love yourself, desexualize your mind. Then, God says you cannot fight lust, you must flee it. So what that means, when you get a lustful temptation, you need to flee it and you need to run towards God. Aim towards His perfection, aim towards His beauty. Lust will continue to hold you captive, man, the more you try to fight it. We get in this cycle where we think we can fight it, but it's weird. For a lot of people, that fake fight they put up against lust is just a habit. So let me explain this. What happens is they get a cue, they get a trigger, they're scrolling on social media, they get the urge to goon. And then the routine is they'll try to fight lust for maybe 5 minutes, then they'll always give in. That's a habit. The fight is a part of your addiction. So there's two things you have to do. You firstly have to flee lust, then you have to rewire your brain and retrain your brain out of the habit. Now, I can go very in depth on that, which I will go a little in depth on what that means. So, the way a habit works, you have the trigger, which is the cue. Maybe it's a trigger usually consists of these 4 things: location, time, a certain emotion, you're around certain people. A trigger is all those, usually no matter what, one of those things. So maybe you're giving into lust at a certain time, in a certain place, when you're with certain people. You have to identify what is the trigger. You have a certain emotion, maybe you're anxious, you're stressed. Identify the trigger. Then what is the routine? What happens after you get that trigger? Do you maybe kind of try to fight it for a little bit, then you give in? Do you move to a certain place? Do you look at a certain thing on your phone? What's that exact routine? And then what is the reward? How do you feel after? Do you feel relieved? Do you feel calm, refreshed? How do you feel after? You have to then identify, okay, what can I do? You have to figure out, what are you aiming for? Are you giving into lust for what? Are you giving into lust for the pleasure, for the relief, for the relaxation? What is causing you to give into it? For the loneliness? You have to identify this. Then you have to replace the routine. Keep the trigger, keep the cue, keep the reward, replace the routine. Change out the routine. Maybe you're gooning or participating in hookup culture with other things, like going to the gym. I made something called light therapy, and the reason I'll go over right now because it works for this. What it does is when you get the urge, you use the light therapy, and it does the same effect as if you were to like goon. So your brain will get that reward, right? It makes you feel calm. You just play your phone like this, it does like certain frequency flashes, talks to you. You feel how you would after gooning. You feel calm, you feel relaxed, and you feel relieved. So you can use that, and the more you use that, eventually your brain will just automatically train to use that when you get the urge. You can also do other things like going to the gym, reading a book, going for a run, and you over time you retrain your brain using neuroplasticity, because you have to break out the habit. Firstly, you have to break out the habit. Then you have to flee to God. You have to flee towards God's perfection, His beauty. When the urge hits, you can't fight it. Flee towards God. Open your Bible, open the Word, pray to God, because this stuff will continue to consume you. And what it does is it chains you from God. It pulls you away from God, right? God is this ultimate figure, the Most High. And when you're deciding, what is God? God is love. So when you're deciding, I'm not going to give into love, I'm going to give into lust, you're choosing to do the exact opposite of God. You're choosing to do what God isn't, right? God is love. You're choosing to do the opposite of love, the opposite of God. So you have to understand the severity of it. You have to understand the severity of it. And you have to choose love. You have to choose love, man, especially as a young man, because we get presented with all these opportunities, right? Hookup culture, gooning, corn. It's being pushed upon us, obviously. And we can't let it, we have to fight it. I mean, it's what we have to do. We have to not fight the temptation, but fight the movement. There's this movement going on, man, with OnlyFans and stuff, because they're making so much money off of it. So we have to, as young men, fight it. We have to reject degeneracy, and we have to embrace God, because that's what matters in the end. You know, you can give into all this pleasurable stuff, and all it does is leave you empty after. But God, He makes you feel fulfilled after. He gives you purpose after. So that's why we have to as young men embrace God, because all the things of the world, they're all gonna pass. They're all temporary. You know, you could have all the girls, all your human pleasures fulfilled, but the world is coming to an end, and what's coming is God, and God will be there till the end. So as young men, we have to live our life for God. And God talks about these things. Proverbs, He says, "For the lips of the immoral woman are as sweet as honey, but as sharp as a double-edged sword." Like, it's so true, because this is how the world works. You will be tempted over and over and over, but do you have the willpower, the discipline to be a man of God and say no? That's what the test ultimately comes down to, man. And if you can master this, you will master your life. If you master this, you will master your relationship with God, and your entire life will change. But understand, God cannot bless a lustful man, so embrace God and reject degeneracy.